How are you doing? So, I was asked a question on the group yesterday to explain the reverse around the corner. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to get the whiteboard out and do a quick video on it. So, the reverse around the corner is probably the most difficult thing you'll do on your driving test. And the way it works is the tester usually stops you here before the turn. They stop you here and they give you all the information that you're moving off from a park position. You're going to drive past the turn, pulling on the left, and then reverse backwards around the corner, keeping reasonably close to the footpath, and keep on going back till I say stop, or something along them lines. So you know you're moving off from a park position using Gosho. If you don't know what Gosho is, just have a look at my other video on YouTube for moving off from a park position. Alright, so you move off from a park position, you drive past the turn, and that's when we mirror signal into the left, and then we park here on the left. Try to park nice and straight, reasonably close to the path. If you park at an angle, like it's really hard then, because when you start reversing, that's the first thing you do is you have to fix your position. So always get in and try park nice and straight. Alright. Once you're parked, handbrake up into neutral, cancel that signal. And now you're going to reverse backwards around this corner. Alright. Before I explain going backwards, I'm going to explain what we do driving forwards around the corner, because it's the exact same thing, just in reverse. Alright. So if we were driving forward, we would drive straight up to the turn. When your front wheels got to where the curb bends, that's when you would usually do a half of a steering wheel, and that would usually get you around here, and then as you get your nose out, usually one more steer to the left will keep you in, and then you straighten up. It's the same move going backwards, the steering is the same. We reverse back in a straight line, but this time it's when your back wheel gets to where the curb bends. You do the same steer, because you're turning left around the corner. We do a half a wheel into the left, and that should keep you in until the very last minute where the curb bends, and then one more little steer to the left should keep you in, and then when you straighten up, straighten the wheel, back in a straight line. Alright? Sounds simple. So, the trick for your first few reverses around the corner, I always tell people to look in that left mirror only. And I do the observation for them until they master this, alright? So what I tell people is, look in your left mirror only and reverse back in a straight line and stop when your back wheels get to where the curb bends. Just stop. Once you're stopped, you're going to grab the wheel and you're going to steer to the left. You're going to turn the wheel upside down, a half a wheel. Just think from 12 o'clock around to 6 o'clock to the left, and then we slowly let the car roll around. You're still looking in your left mirror here. If your position looks similar to this, just hold the wheel. Very important, we don't need to keep on steering in and out. You just hold the wheel as you come around. Once you feel like the curb is going to start coming away a bit, straight away I'd say stop again. Do another quarter steer to the left. Once you've done that, come off the brake, and then we should start coming in. And we're still looking at our left mirror. Once we feel that we're getting closer to the path, that's when we undo our steering in quarter steers, and then we should kind of just level up. And then once you get parallel with the path, that's when I say stop, straighten your wheel, and reverse back in a straight line, looking in your left mirror, just trying to hold it nice and straight. Alright, the trick when you're doing that is, if your position is good, just hold the wheel. If you feel like, if you missed your point of steer and you're too wide, just like you would if you were driving forward, if you want to get into the path, just steer left. The trick is, it's just do measured steers. You don't want to do a big huge steer to the left, because then you have to take a big huge steer off, and it's just you're in this sort of cycle where you're going on and off. Just small steers. Once you get to here, half a wheel. If that's not enough, just bring it around in quarters then. And then once you're in, hold the wheel. Once you feel you're coming close, you just start taking the steer off in quarters. And as you come around, we straighten up. So now it's time to talk about the observation, alright? So when you can manage the car by looking in the left mirror, that's when we're okay to do a little bit of observation, alright? So when we're going back in the straight lines, when we're going reverse, we have to look over our left shoulder and look out the back window, alright? The wing mirror, it's not the rear view mirror, it's actually looking over your left shoulder out the back window, alright? The trick with that is we only do that when you're happy that your position is nice and straight, reasonably close to the path. There's no point in being miles away from the path, taking a big look out the back window, because you're never going to fix your position doing that. Make sure you get it in first, looking in your mirror, and once you're in and you're straight, that's when you can look out the back window. Then back to your left mirror. If it's still straight, then you can kind of scan ahead and use your right mirror, just to make sure there's no one coming this way or this way. If that looks good, then stay back to the left mirror. If you're still happy, another look out the back window. And then that, once you get to where the curve is nearly bending, staying in the left mirror. There's no point getting to here and then taking a big look out the window, because you'll miss this. Just looking in your left mirror. Once you get to there, do your half a wheel. If you're happy that your position is in, just hold the wheel, let the car drive around, and once you're in, then just keep the wheel steady. Then you might check your blind spot. Back to your left mirror. If it still looks like this, then you might check your back window. Back to your left mirror. Very important that we don't steer checking your blind spot. Really, it's impossible to do that. Always looking where you're steering. Only when you're happy with the steering are you going to check your blind spot. The same way, if you're miles away from the path, there's no point checking your blind spot, because you're never going to get it in looking out that window. Get your steering in, and only when you're in can you do your looking around. Alright, very important that always looking when you're steering, looking in the left mirror when you're steering. And you're going to keep coming around, and then when you look in your left mirror, if you feel the path is getting a little bit further away, you have to act now. You have to just give it a little quarter steer to the left, and that will just keep you in. And then once you're in, another look in your blind spot. And then you're back to the mirror here, because you know you're going to start coming around the bend. And once it starts narrowing, you're taking your steer off in quarter steers, and just when you're straight with the path, stop the car if you want, straighten the wheel, back in a straight line. If you're nice and straight, reasonably close to the path, then again, back window, checking around, and just keep going back. They usually bring you back about 3 car lengths. So look, that's kind of one way of explaining how to do the reverse around the corner. There is a lot of ways how to do it. Like, people say it different ways, and that's just the way I do it. The trick here is back wheels to there, half a wheel. That usually keeps you in and gives you a lovely position. And you only steer when you're either coming too far away or too close to the path. The only time you're steering, looking in your left mirror, very important. You'll never be able to steer around this corner looking out that window. Alright? Always looking where you're going. I hope this helps. It's really hard to explain from a whiteboard. I'd love to have you in the car and then I'd show you how I do it with the wheel. It's just trial and error with this. So just keep giving it a bash. Just remember, if you're too far away from the path, the same way you would drive in a straight line, steer left. If you're too close to the path, the same way you would drive in a straight line ahead, steer right. Always measured steered. Alright, and best of luck.